Hi, it's Vicki from Pinehurst, and we're in the gardening corner at Pinehurst. And today we're going to talk about lawn care made easy. Everybody wants a gorgeous lawn and they think it's a lot of work, but it really isn't that hard to do. You just have to use the right product at the right time. So I'm going to talk to you about our lawn care programs and some different things, bugs and weeds and all kinds of stuff. But we'll start with our lawn care program. We have a 4-step and a 5-step program. They're Fertilome products. Fertilome is made for our soils and our climate. If you buy a national brand, they're made for everywhere in the United States, so it's kind of something good to have something that's made especially for us. In our programs, the first step is Pro Green. And Pro Green is really good because what it has a lot of quick release nitrogen in it. So this is going to green it up really fast, and that's what you need after this winter. Right now I would mow your lawn really short. Get rid of as much of that dead grass as you can. If you have a really bad thatch, you could rake it or you could have it power raked. But you kind of want to open that up and let the air and the sun get down into close to the roots. So mow it really short and then apply Pro Green. And Pro Green is composed of a fast release nitrogen to make it green up fast. The bonuses about this is it also has sulfur in it. It has 18% sulfur. Sulfur is great for our area soils because our soil is so alkaline, and sulfur helps to lower the alkaline so the iron releases. So that's a really good product. The next product is our Lawn Food Plus Iron. When you get into this one, it has just a touch of really quick release nitrogen, and the rest of it is a much slower nitrogen. So this is going to feed you over 6 weeks, and it has a lot of trace elements in it and also has iron in it. The next one is Southwest Greenmaker. This comes in our 5-step program. And what Southwest Greenmaker does, it's 18% nitrogen, and it has half of that 18% is a quick release and half of it is a slow release. And this is to help your lawn bounce back, maybe if you've had a bug issue or something like that. And they all have some trace elements in them too. The next product this comes in both, the Southwest Greenmaker is just in our 5-step, but the 3rd step in a 4 is your classic, and it's called Classic Slow Release. It's 16% nitrogen, but just a tiny bit of that is a quick release, and the rest of it is a slow release. So this will green your lawn up without making it grow so much. And this is for later in the summer, August. So when you're tired of mowing, this one doesn't get it growing fast. So that's a great one for that. And then our last one is Winterizer. Winterizer is the most important fertilizer of all of them to use on your lawn. If you're only going to fertilize one time in the whole year, Winterizer is the most important. And what it does, it has a little bit of quick, but most of it is slow release. And it's going to feed over a long time. And it also has a lot of potash in it, which is going to make your grass stronger, make it withstand the elements over the winter, the freezing and thawing, and the cold temperatures, and the wind. So that is our 4- and 5-step program. And we have used these for a long time, and we know how good they work. At Pinehurst, you can come in and buy those, and we have a spreader we'll loan you, but those are a good product. The next thing that we use a lot of is called Soil Activator. And what Soil Activator is humates. It comes in a bag like this. It looks like charcoal, and it's a natural product. And what humates do, they do a lot of things. I'm just going to mention just a few of the things they do. Number one, the reason it's so good on a lawn is because it will decompose that thatch, that dead grass in there, and turn it into organic matter that goes down into the soil. What humates do is they feed the microorganisms in the soil, so they make your soil healthier. They also make it so that your soil, the roots of your grass can use all these other fertilizer. It buffers the way there. It is good. It breaks up clay soil. It makes it looser. It just really helps the structure of the soil. It makes the water penetrate better and hold longer, and it is just a great product. This is also a really good product to put on your flower beds in your garden, because it will, if you put it on your vegetable garden, your vegetables will have a higher content of vitamins. So they're really good. It also helps seed to germinate. So we've talked about the fertilizers. Another one that we have is gypsum, and this is a product that works like the soil activator. It loosens clay soil, and that is a good product to use. It's fast acting, but it loosens compact soils. If you're only going to use one of these products, I would highly recommend the soil activator. A lot of our customers use it spring and fall and have super duper good luck with that. When you have a lawn, you usually have weeds in your lawn. But if you fertilize really good on a great program, you'll have a really thick lawn and you won't have as many weeds, because the weed seed can't get down in, it has to come in contact with the soil. And if your grass is so thick, it can't do that. So that will help choke out those weeds. But if you do have weeds, say you're just getting on this program and your lawn isn't built up and you have a lot of weeds, one thing, there is a weed and feed. This is our fertilizer, and it has our weed-free zone in it. I don't recommend that you utilize this all the time unless you really have a weed problem, because you're putting on a weed killer on areas that you don't really need to. But we use a lot of, I'm going to show you this product. This is the same thing. This is your weed-free zone in a liquid. And I would use this, and I would use it and spot treat those weeds. So just walk around your yard and just spot treat where you do have weeds. If you do have a big problem, the weed and feed does work. Okay? So that's easy to use. This is the best product that we have for broadleaf weeds. Weed-free zone you can use in cool temperatures. The other thing I really like about it is when you spray this on, you can, in just a few hours, those weeds start to die. Used to be in the olden days when we only had 2,4-D, the plants would have to grow themselves to death, so it'd take them 2 weeks to die. But this gets them real fast. This is also a great product if you have morning glory in your grass, or there's a little vine that's real low, close to the ground, or clover, things that are really hard to control. This is the product you want to use. Another way you can control weeds in your lawn is a product that's called All Seasons. And what this is fertilizer, and it has a pre-emergent in it. So a pre-emergent won't let any seed germinate. So you can, it doesn't let any weed seed germinate. So this is a really good product. You could use this now, or a really good time to do it is in the fall. And this has, like I said, a weed control in it. How it works is it just doesn't let the dandelion seeds germinate, or any seed. If you have a grass that comes from seed, we have a lot of people come in and they say they want crabgrass control. Well, here where we live, we don't really have crabgrass. What we have is quackgrass. And quackgrass is just like the grass that you want to have. And it's a perennial. It lives from year to year. It comes from the roots. It spreads by underground rhizomes, and that's how that lives. Crabgrass is an annual. and it dies every year. So that's why you would use this product in an area where you did, because it lists that it is crabgrass control. So that's easy to control because you just don't let the seed germinate. Quackgrass is really hard to control because anything that you spray on it to kill it is going to kill your grass also. A lot of times we get big patches of a bunch grass in our yard, and you might want to kill that patch, and I would use Killzall, and that will kill that patch. And then after it's dead, and after you make sure it's dead, you can dig that up and you can put in a little chunk of sod. You could also reseed that area, because after you use Killzall, you can reseed right away. Now, if you do have crabgrass, if you do have quackgrass, and it's invading your yard, and it's really thick in an area, you might use the Killzall to kill that area and make sure it's dead, and then go back and reseed or put in some sod. One of the best ways to control crabgrass is to fertilize good with a really good fertilizer program, to water it correctly, not too little and not too much water, and not too often. You don't want to just keep it all wet all the time. And mow it short, because if you look where crabgrass grows the best is in an area where it doesn't have to compete with anything, and so it's easy for it to take over and get going. So if your lawn is in disarray and in bad condition, the crabgrass is just going to move in and take over. So you want to get your lawn really healthy. If you're choking it out, you're never going to get totally rid of it, but it's not going to be a problem. So that's what you would do on that. The next problem that we sometimes have and usually have in this area is we have a lot of lawn insects. We really only have 3 that bug us. There's white grubs. They're a big white grub. Those are the larvae of June bugs or June beetles, the big things that fly at you at night when you're sitting on your patio. They are flying around and they are laying eggs, and they go down, and that is the white grub. The white grub eats the root system off of the plant. The other one that is a problem for us is a bill bug. And the bill bug is a much smaller beetle. It has a little bit of a snout, and they also eat the root system off the plant. Those you can control with Grub Free Zone. This treats 7,000 square feet, and the best time to put that on is between May 15th and June 15th. The grubs overwinter deep in the soil, and then in the spring when it starts to warm up, then they start coming up and they chew their way up under your grass. If you put it on too early, you're going to miss them, and if you put it on too late, then you're already going to have done their damage. So the best time to do it is May 15th to June 15th. Now, if you're treating bill bugs in our area, you can still use that same time frame for your first treatment, but you may have to treat again because they have 2 life cycles, and so you may have to treat again closer to fall, like in August. How you can tell if you have bugs in your yard is you're watering it the same that you always did, but it looks dry. And no matter how much you water, it still is dry. The areas that you see the most damage is out in the middle of the yard where it's really sunny and your grass is a little bit stressed anyway, and that shows up the best. You probably have them in all of your yard, but you don't see the damage as bad. And when you're treating for bugs, be sure and treat your whole lawn, not just the areas where you know they're at. The other bug we have is a sod webworm, and they're kind of a little bugger. They're a little tiny worm, really tiny. This is really exaggerated. And where that grows is here you've got your grass, here you've got your roots, and it's growing right, it's chewing right in between. They're really right above ground, but they just chew off that. And they are very destructive. And you think you have grubs, you dig and you don't have any grubs, but your lawn looks like heck, good chance that you have sod webworm. Another way to tell if you have sod webworm, when you walk out in your yard in the evening or any time of day really, or you're mowing, and a little tiny white moth is going to fly up out of the ground. He might be like a quarter an inch, a half inch long, but you just see him fly up and then he goes someplace else and goes back into the ground. Well, and he's laying lots of eggs as he's flying. That bug is really hard to control. The grub-free zone treats things down in the ground, and it does not treat the sod webworm. So this is Bug Blaster Plus, and it's called Above and Below. This will control insects. It will get all of what these do, plus the grubs, plus the sod webworm. So this will treat all three of the insects. So there's just some ideas of products that make it easier. If you have insects in your grass, they're not going to go away. In the fall, they just go back down in the ground and hibernate all winter, and they're going to come back the next spring and do it again. So you really want to get them under control. And it's a good idea to use this as a preventative measure. Put this on before you see the damage, and then you never will see the damage. You won't have that problem. So that's our lawn care program. We have, like I said, it's really easy to have a good, pretty lawn. And if you try these products, and if you tried them before, you know how well they do. So that's all I have for today, and thank you. And I invite you to come in with your questions, and we're always here to help you. We also, during the coronavirus times, we also are doing curbside pickup. So if you want a lawn care program, you can call and we'll have it ready for you, and we'll take it out when you come. We also have delivery, and or you're welcome to come in the store. We're asking that everybody do social distancing. So thank you, and have a great week gardening.